Yep, 1 for 3. Sorry, I'm just really embarrassed by that house puzzle. I missed it in practice twice, and I knew going into this that I needed to pay attention to it. I still somehow missed it.
Oh no, they are guessing. They've gone left, right, centre, right, left, left, right, left. Yeah. Team left. There's a team left apparently.
Yeah. one out of 2 so far.
Come on, right.
Yeah, 1 out of 3. Not too bad. I would have preferred the last one to be in the center because it's like a quarter second faster, but hopefully I will be able to pay a little more attention during White Mountain, which is the last section of Act 2. And I think that you should be prepared for some Bible thump spam at the end of this. You know why, Robo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this game gets you in the feels every so often. Any questions from the chat in addition to hat requests and Lula, Jason, Sean spamming?
No, there's a no, there's just team left to right. Oh, who's commentating? This is Robo Sparkle. Oh, someone's made a guess. Up, down, down, left, right, left, right.
Do you prefer playing this on the keyboard or with the controller?
Personally, I prefer it, but there's no there are enough advantages and disadvantages between the two that it ends up being pretty much neutral, as long as you're playing on the PC version. I mean, the PS3 is great for casual play, but the PC version is much more stable. By that I mean it is actually stable. I mean, it's I own both versions, and I can say from experience that the PS3 is certainly playable, but it crashes a lot. So I have to be kind of careful here when I'm setting these up, because there's a glitch where if I'm moving at too high a speed in the wrong direction, I will actually clip through these buildings, which didn't happen. It only happens on the sides generally. And I need to move towards the right in order to save a little bit of time there. So this is actually a new route for this chapter that my stream viewers may not have seen before, because basically it means it's a new route that I set up to ensure that I don't have to move the first piece of the building at all while setting this up. There are two main pieces to this. One is getting all of them to move, for one thing, and getting a key for the second piece, the one with the over there, over the pink building. So the first bit of this is we get the key from up there. I don't have to move this at all, because it turns out this little not barrister, whatever it is, it has no collision, so I can jump through it. The key's up there for this area. And then I'm gonna have to do a more complicated E-jump in order to ensure that I don't have to move the staircase in place. The game really wants you to use the staircase to the point that it will actually put an invisible wall on the right side over there, which I have to fly around using an extended jump. The length of which will differ depending on how quickly I put those two in place. Yeah, I got the key, and now it's just a matter of this looks like a long one. I'm used to it being a little bit shorter, but I think I can still do this. This is a lot harder than it looks, because it also requires a consistent 60 in order to pull it off. So let's see. Gotta line this up. Okay, jump. And got it.
Nice.
That's a lot harder than it looks.
Quick question, Englishman.
Yep.
Favorite indie game?
Sorry?
Favorite indie game?
If Mark of the Ninja counts, that definitely would be.
That's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
Braid is up there, but in terms of actual like replayability, Mark of the Ninja would probably be my favorite indie game. So now we got everything in place. The pipe, you want to avoid going to the left with this, because otherwise you line up with the frogs. Not that it matters. Okay, I expect to see at least several thousand Bible thumps out of this cutscene, at least. Bible thumps.
We've
All
got
of your crying babies. You will need every single crying baby. Even get your actual crying babies at home. Put them in front of the stream and make them cry if you have to. Because This is a very, very sad moment, ruined by wearing a boot on my head. Lula!
Oh man, they're warming up their Isaacs.
Yep.
Shut. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Yep. Let's switch over to the Tiara.
Watch out for
One of
spamming.
my favorites.
Watch out for spamming 20 of them in a row because the bot will, time
And,
you out.
The
Yeah.
chat will be able to hear this, but I'll be able to revive Lula for 1 frame. There we go. Because the white screen version of Kiko has everything, including Lula. So anyway, that death scene was too depressing. I'm gonna have to start the whole game all over again. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
But yeah, this is the second retread of the first map that you get. Thankfully, the third retread is very short, as in like 15-20 seconds, as opposed to this where you redo most of the puzzle. The next puzzle is one of the more infamous ones for me when I was starting running this. It has an incredible paradox in that the hardest strat is also the safest. You'll see what I mean in a second. It involves coconut manipulation, and Monster's AI will glitch out if there's more than one coconut on the map and you're holding one in your hand, and he will sort of like he'll be very indecisive about which coconut to go to. It's a lot easier to court him out of the map when you have the last coconut there, but that requires getting a perfect version of the puzzle. Also, this area stutters on every single rig that I've played this on. Doesn't matter how powerful it is. I just want to assure the chat that I am not actually dying.
Yeah, is that just like a loading thing then, or?
Yeah, it's loading the next area because it's loading the new part of this map that hasn't been seen before. It does have a couple of fade to white transitions as you mentioned before, you've seen before, but nothing too bad. There's also in like 2 or 3 maps, there's one section which is absolutely perfect for reading off donations and questions because almost nothing happens during it. But for now, this is not.
Get your questions ready.
Not that part. This is not that part at all.
Oh, someone's asking what other games you speedrun.
I speedrun Resident Evil 4. I did that 2 years ago at AGDQ, and God of War 2, which I did the year after that. Although I haven't touched those games as of late. I'm considering just sticking with more PC stuff because keyboard and mouse is a little easier on my hands for now. But yeah, I also do a lot of tasking.
Yeah, I was going to say, those of you who are into task videos, and if you're not, you should be, because it's a really great form of speedrunning. The Englishman did the current tasks for Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid VR missions. Those are both probably your most recent works, were they?
Mm-hmm.
VR missions is really, really entertaining. So he's actually put up 2 versions. One which kind of fast forwards, ignores the arbitrary like practice runs, doing the real ones. He's also so he's done so those of you who watched Slade run Metal Gear Solid, the task of it is basically run using similar structures to those. A few minor time savers have been incorporated in the meantime, but it's still a very good run. Clocks in just over an hour, well worth watching. I think the VR missions it's just so good though. You need to watch that if you're into MGS.
Also, how could I have forgotten? This game is available on the current Humble Indie Bundle. Humble Bundle X, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Along with Surgeon Simulator 2013, which is another game that was on the main schedule. Go get this game.
Yeah,
it's
chat's
in the
been
Humble
spamming
Bundle.
Humble
There's no
Bundle.
excuse.
Yeah,
you don't need to shell out $15 for it.
Yeah.
Although you
Chat's been
should.
spamming Humble Bundle actually throughout.
Yes.
Everyone's asking, and like loads of people responded. So yeah, I mean Humble Bundle's a great way to not just like get new games, but learn about great games as well.
Yeah. So here's the tricky part of this area. I have to grab the coconut as soon as I know that monster has fully dissolved back into this dimension. Okay, yeah, that's a lot harder than it looks. If he hadn't done that, I probably would have had to waste like 2 or 3 minutes getting him to go around. Anyway, here's another quirk in Monster's AI. If a frog and a blue berry, which cures a sickness, are in the same area of his aggro, he will go for the berry, which means I can throw the berry over here, and then skip part of the puzzle, run the frog right past him because he's too busy looking at the berry. Whee! Yeah, pay no attention to the frog, because apparently the berry is more interesting.
Someone's asked why you're called the Englishman.
I I picked the username in junior high, and I just stuck with it. I like it. So, yeah, this is the slow part that I mentioned before. Perfect time for donations and questions, as well as a hat change. Very easy for hat changes.
I was really sad there wasn't some like more ironical story for your username,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint.
given that the two Englishmen are actually sat on this side of the room.
Yeah. It's okay. The Englishmen technically control the audio.
I think it's funny. It's like, oh, it's Englishman. Wait,
Yeah.
is this the right guy?
Also, for some reason, I really don't like the kissing sound that they use for Alejandra in this area. I don't know why. I just don't like it. It sounds off.
You want me to make up some new ones?
Yeah,
Is that better?
yes. Although, do consider that it is very heavily implied that, well, it's ambiguous as to whether or not Alejandra is supposed to be Kiko's sister or is like his first crush, but it really could be either. The mother figure is definitely Lula, though. I mean, there's no question about that. Even though Lula doesn't really have a gender, Lula is still the mother figure. And I don't know how much of the symbolism I really want to spoil at this point. I don't think I will, because lots of the symbolism becomes very obvious in Act 5. Also, because I'm no longer going for a world record time, I'm going to be doing a very complicated strategy in the next map called Monster Boost. And I'm sure that those of you who have seen my seen my stream before are already shivering in anticipation and dread. Also, this area, for those of you who have played the marathon games made by Bungie for Mac, you may remember a certain map in the first marathon called Colony Ships for Sale Cheap. This puzzle is like that. Is like that control room puzzle, except good. Mainly because there's an audio cue whenever you get the right switch going, so it gets rid of a lot of the trial and error. Basically, we're taking the centipede that Alejandra has made for us and using it to cart around Monster's lazy tuchus here. He's very lazy. Sits around all day eating coconuts and beating up little children.
That's the life.
Yep. The life of a representation of a Brazilian father in the mind of the kid that he's abusing. Have I mentioned this game is for kids? So yeah, go ahead. This is perfect timing for donations, etc.
Oh yeah, someone from chat's asking about the VODs from previous runs. There is a Reddit thread that's up at the moment, which has actually got a fair few of them on. It's actually been put up. There will be official SDA
I think
videos of all the runs of Stream and Bonus Stream.
I know there's a Reddit thread for all the VODs.
Twitch.
Oh, and
Previous GDQs you can find on YouTube.
Yeah. Also on the Games Done Quick website, which I hope you're watching this on anyway. On the Games Done Quick website, there's links to videos in all the previous marathon schedules. But yeah, that is where the main VODs will be posted once they're processed in high quality, including this one. Oh, here's an interesting one, Englishman.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself speedrunning in the future?
Hopefully with a better computer for a start. That'd be nice. But honestly, I think if I could keep up the mixture of tool assisted and RTA work, that would be fine for me. It's actually, I started out at the Sonic Center, and then found what was then NES videos and SDA through there. So I was sort of too young and not didn't know enough to sort of have the initial task versus speedrun drama that was mentioned earlier by I think it was Insult who was doing the bot, task bot. I was sort of, that sort of went over my head, so I went into it with a fresh mindset, and yeah, it's been a great experience, and I'm glad that I've been able to come for 3 years in a row to HGQ, and I'm glad I'm able to show off this game to a lot of people who probably have never even heard of it before coming here.
We've got shout outs to you from Freezer.
Ah, okay. Hi, Freezer.
Freezer!
And does the chat want a hat change, or do they like the tiara?
No one's gone in for hat spamming yet, so
For the fishbowl earlier,
The fish bowl. Okay. I'll switch to the fish bowl. Oh, there it is.
I know might be a joke question, but I mean we are still accepting donations, and yeah, literally every single cent of what you donate goes directly to Prevent Cancer Foundation. I don't think SDA even like has access to the account or anything like that. It's just directly to them. So
So here's the only real trick of this map. You take 15 steps up to here, and then you stop. You don't want to go all the way. You can just bounce off of Monster's belly and just hit the next checkpoint, and everything will set itself. Can I get a time check?
you're currently on
Oh, yikes, that's bad.
10.
Yeah, okay. Alright, well, hopefully I can save like 15 seconds by doing this crazy trick. This is Monster Boost. We are deliberately going to get Monster to eat a frog, and then hopefully skip some of the bridge by having him throw us up over to where Alejandro will end up here. It is very precise, and even with the precision, extremely random. Both the RNG and my skill have to be in sync in order to get this to work. So here we go. So we're going to get this part of the bridge going. That will spawn a frog, but we're not going to kill it. We're going to let Monster eat it. And then my visual point of reference is a series of leaves over here, which I sort of line myself up with the.
Someone in the chat is giving you boost power.
Yeah, this is boost power. This is at this point. This is the son abusing the father. Okay, good setup. Nope. Okay, didn't work. He is a random chance of him throwing me over to where I need to go. So I got to use the other safe strat, which I haven't actually showed that many people. So this will be new to most of my chat viewers, my regulars anyway. Basically allows me to skip the first part of the bridge while still collecting the other two pieces. I was really hoping that would work. Oh well. I generally tend to do much better when I'm on my own channel. Unfortunately, the game won't look as pretty because my current computer isn't all that great. It can't really run it at anything other than medium. So, but yeah, I like I said, I hold the current world record at 1 hour, 10 minutes, 56 seconds. That's with a decent number of mistakes. And I could definitely go into 109 with good enough luck and skill as well. So here's the new strat. We collected the two initial pieces of the bridge, the two at the back. We don't need the first one because we can, you guessed it, climb on the scenery, do an E-jump over here. I missed it, but even with this, it still saves 5 seconds over putting in the other one. So it would save 10 seconds initially. Why am I not getting this? Okay, here, I'll give it one more shot. Yeah.
A few people have asked about next games. Bonus schedule is fairly loosely scheduled, but the next game up is Sonic Ball, which is going to be a race, and it's
I believe it's Sonic Ball, actually.
I was watching a bit of that earlier for the first time. That was amazing.
You were pronouncing it way
You need to stick around for that.
Clearly saying it.
How many fasts per hour will you get?
Oh,
All of them.
All of the fasts.
yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, Englishman, question from me. How many fasts per hour are you getting at the moment? Englishman.
Yeah?
Number of fasts per hour. How many are you getting at the moment?
Sorry, in regards to this game?
Yeah, why not?
It's the fasts per hour are kind of canceling each other out at this point.
Uh,
For every one I gain, I lose about 2 or 3. Anyway, so this is a perfect cutscene for a hat change, by the way. I'm also carrying the coconut into this cutscene. Coconut will disappear, but I will still have it. reason they're doing this is because monster usually spawns in a docile state, and then we'll run over to get one of the other coconuts on the other side of the map. But by doing this, I can get him to get to my attention immediately, pretty much, so I don't have to chase him down. So yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to switch hats right now. Any suggestions from the chat?
For hats.
Yeah.
They're spamming Sank balls and Raymans at the moment.
Well, I see chat is debating various rules and
Yeah.
various versions of Windows.
Oh no, there's a fishbowl suddenly. Lula. Lego hat.
Lego hat. Oh yes, I know the Lego hat.
Oh yeah, there were a few Lego hats earlier. I don't think we've seen that one yet.
Yeah, the Lego hat's pretty cool.
Fedora, avatar, shoe, stovepipe. Froggy. I assume I'm the guy that sounds like Jonathan Wass. Yeah. Wassy.
All right, so I'll switch over to the. Lego.
Oh no, Lego. There's a big Lego spam suddenly. Wow.
There we go, Lego hat.
That is
Clutch
a
Lego hat strats right there, ladies.
that is a Lego spam.
So basically, what I'm doing at this point is I'm solving the puzzle as intended, but with one extra coconut, so I don't have to go over to where the tree is and shake off more of them. We're basically going to trap Monster and use his anger to revive Lula. So yeah, this is quickly turning into a revenge fantasy for Kiko at this point. We're the ones abusing him now. It is possible to do this with only 2 coconuts, but extremely risky. And now we're gonna have to deal with Monster being angry for a good chunk, like 10-15 minutes of the run. He's gonna be chasing us, but we're gonna have to activate this little scissor first. All right, now he's angry. Yep, he wouldn't like Monster when he's angry and possibly drunk. And no, that wasn't a joke. Yeah, it's pretty much the chat figured it out at this point.
All right.
Frogs are whiskey, and his anger is a manifestation of Kiko's father's alcoholism. But there are still more twists to come that the chat has not quite figured out yet.
A couple of questions from chats. First one: do you wear that hat out in public?
Only when I want to inflict harm upon myself, but I'm too cowardly to do it.
Cool.
But yeah, I occasionally just for the occasional party joke or something.
And second question: where in Canada are you from?
I'm from Toronto. So yeah, you have to hit those switches in order to move the blocks away, and if Monster grabs you, all of those blocks reset, you get pushed all the way back. Also, you can move during this cutscene. I only move a certain distance forward, though, because if I move in the wrong direction during this, I could get stuck in one of the pieces of environment, and I could have to start all the way back to where Alejandro was talking to me earlier. Also, I'm still not really used to how pretty this part looks with everything set, with all the graphic settings set to high. Because this area tends to dip down to like 30 FPS and go a little crazy on my machine. So, also I can run past Monster here because he's scripted to run over to the left. He's not really interested in me at this point. So now we're just gonna have to do this one more time because it's a video game. We have to do it 3 times, and this one can be a bit tricky, particularly when you're playing with a controller, because if you take too sharp of a turn, Monster is almost guaranteed to grab you. I was pushing it a little, but I got it off. And there we go. That's the third piece. I think that is a sufficient amount of anger to bring Lula back. And yeah, we're gonna have to deal with Monster being angry for a good chunk of the rest of the game. And wait for it. Wait for it. It's a miracle. We brought Lula back, guys. We did it. Woo!
Yay!
Yay, Lula!
Shout outs to cool background things that people are slowly starting to notice.
Sorry?
There's a terrorist in your background.
Oh,
Yeah, suddenly. Beware.
okay.
Don't give it too many frogs.
Oops, why am I going this way? I thought I was going in the other direction. So, again, well, a monster was roaring there, which means I could take a little shortcut going up to here. So we don't actually have to go up to the altar in order to get Lula. We can actually just run over to where the next platforming section is going to be, and after a couple of seconds, Kiko will call for Lula automatically. I also really love the soundtrack for this game. And you can also buy the soundtrack as part of the Humble Indie Bundle that I mentioned before. There's really no reason not to get the game. The Humble Bundle lasts for another 2 weeks. It just started. It's also part of a number of flash sales on Steam. If you want to get those. And see, I just gotta wait here for Lula. There we go. And now we can. Now we're pretty much officially in the end game, folks. Yep. Although I suspect that I probably will be overestimate just because of how bad certain sections went. But it would be nice if I could get under 115. Although I doubt it. So this part is definitely a nightmare to route out the first time I did it. Basically, you have these 12 pipes that you're supposed to create into a bridge, much like the houses earlier. You only need 10 of them though. And the idea is they want to stay off of the ground. There are only 10 in this area here, and the other 2 are on the ground where monster is almost certain to grab you and throw you. So I want to only collect the 10 that are on the ground. Yeah, that's bad. That's very bad. The good news is that I have a backup strat. I could still use at least one of those over there. If I can just get Lula to get the switch. And just as backup.
I don't have any sound.
And I'll just have to change my route a bit. There. Okay, so I avoided part of the bad route there. I just set that up as a backup. And yeah, I guess this is karmic retribution for my Resident Evil 4 God of War 2 runs having gone so well in the past. You know, I had to have a nightmare run eventually.
Yeah, if you want to see God of War 2, God of War getting broken away, watching that was something special.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't play the game as much anymore, but there's still a YouTube link to it floating out there somewhere. So yeah, as long as I pay attention and don't screw up, there's really no need to go down there for those other 2. But we'll see. At least they're there. So here's the other shortcut here. We're going to climb in these barrels, do an extended jump. And I failed it, yeah. I expected it to. Good news is I only need one of those, and then I can immediately start. Because like I said here, it's a guarantee that monster will grab you. Thankfully, when he grabs you, it cancels out. Yeah, I think we're good for... it was just the one, right? Yeah. I promise that if you follow me on Twitch, I will have much, much better runs on my channel than what I'm showing here. Nope, just barely got the jump. You're supposed to put down all 12, but I used a little bit of a tricky jump there to not have to get those 2 on the bottom. So now I'm going to do part of a jumping puzzle and just ignore it and take the shortcut, because that's actually where you get one of the hats is from that jumping puzzle. You're expected to run on the ground when doing this normally. So there's one other big area coming up where the AI could really screw me over. And I'll explain it when we get there. But for now, if there's any more donations, questions, or hat changes, this is another good spot for hat changing.
Alright, well, we'll find out in about 20 seconds whether they want hat changes.